This is the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast.
There you are. I've been waiting for you. Well, metaphorically speaking anyway. I am the Celebrity Medium, and I am here to present to you another edition of the Celebrity Afterlife Report, the only show on the internet that gives you the up-to-the-minute gossip about all your favorite-to-see celebrities. Time's a-wasting, so how about we get this party started? Legendary Yankees catcher and Baseball Hall of Famer Yogi Berra transitioned to the next world this past week. The universally loved Berra was greeted by a huge crowd upon his arrival, and according to my Afterlife sources, the outpouring of love he received brought tears to Yogi's eyes. The throng was so large that it took James Brown, the unofficial greeter to the stars, several minutes, that was several, to make his way to Berra for the welcoming ceremony. After the festivities were over and the crowd thinned out a bit, George Steinbrenner, former and current owner of the Yankees team, gave Yogi a huge bear hug. So happy was the boss to see his former employee. Before Berra had a chance to recover from the surprise of being greeted by such a big crowd, Steinbrenner was offering Yogi a job as a catcher for his next World Yankees team. Since he took up residency in the Afterlife, Big George has been assembling a killer lineup of Yankee players from all decades, including Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, Thurman Munson, Joe DiMaggio, Lou Gehrig, and others. So with Berra now added to the lineup, the biggest get Steinbrenner hasn't yet gotten is Babe Ruth. So far, Ruth has made more than a name for himself as the most shocking shock jock on the Afterlife airwaves, has spurned George's many offers to play for the team. As host of the Babe and His Bullpen morning show on Heaven 107, Ruth has earned a reputation for crudeness that puts Howard Stern in his prime to shame. Ruth is on record as thoroughly enjoying his new occupation and has said that he has no plans to return to baseball. A source tells me that one of his representatives approached Yogi after he agreed to play ball for Steinbrenner to ask him to appear on Babe's show. Given how Ruth has treated other guests in the past, that appearance should be very interesting. On last week's report, I told you that the Afterlife rumor mill was buzzing about the alleged separation of singer-actress Judy Garland and her husband of a few months, Fred Trump, father of the Donald. This story has become very convoluted, so I suggest that if you need a recap, you listen to last week's show to get up to speed. Okay, moving forward. Adolf Hitler, who is now BFFs with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., held a press conference the other day. Speaking through an interpreter, the former Fuhrer, whose English is still pretty rough, announced that the elder Trump, who has been using his wife's last name in recent weeks, engineered the plot to get Garland to give the plans for her proposed all-female community to aviator Charles Lindbergh. Lindbergh, of course, wanted to turn the under-construction town into an all-white community. Months ago, Hitler and Lindbergh had a secret meeting, as I reported, at a fancy Next World hotel. Now, what we didn't know until Hitler spilled the beans is that Fred Trump was also in attendance at that confab. Now, about 2 weeks ago, it was reported in the Earthly Plain press that Trump Sr. had been arraigned at a Ku Klux Klan rally in New York City decades ago. Prior to his press conference the other day, Hitler quietly contacted Judy to tell her Trump had manipulated events so that her feminist plans would collapse, and he convinced her to give the blueprints for the town to Lindbergh. He even went so far as to marry the Wizard of Oz star to cover his tracks. As you would guess, after speaking to Hitler, Garland confronted her new husband and angrily kicked him to the curb. As things currently stand, the two are Splitsville, although there is no word yet on whether the erstwhile Mr. Garland will go back to using his maiden name. The Lizard King may have to find a rock to slither under now that he has been ousted from his job with the acting troupe co-run by Vince McMahon Sr. and William Shakespeare. Although Jim Morrison was doing a good job in the role as Iago in the company's production of Othello, his diva side surfaced when he announced that no one in the cast or crew was to make eye contact with him when he was off stage. McMahon and Shakespeare are reported to have had a meeting with Morrison to straighten him out, but things came to a head when he got into a confrontation with recent addition to the company, Rowdy Roddy Piper, backstage. According to sources, Piper did not take it well when Morrison told the former wrestler not to look at him. The two came to blows, I'm told, and when the dust settled, the bruised-up Morrison was again out of a job. You know, you'd think that Jim would have learned his lesson after having alienated his then bandmates several months ago, but apparently not. So at least for now, Morrison is once again a rider on the storm. Lastly this week, we have news about the So Bad It's Good movie, The Lassie Squad. The film, which started out as a buddy cop action movie starring an all-canine cast, but was turned into a comedy when it became apparent to the producers that the original plan wasn't going to work out, is now going to get a sequel? Despite reviews like the one from critic Roger Ebert, who said the movie was a bigger disaster than the sinking of the Titanic, the Lassie Squad has found an audience that seems to enjoy it as a campy classic, similar to the cult around the made-for-TV Sharknado movies on the earthly plane. The movie's success has given a second life to the careers of the old-time film comedians who were added to it at the last minute when the plan to film it as a straight action film collapsed. So, I guess congratulations are in order for everyone involved in this unexpected turnaround. And on that happy note, it's time to lock up the Celebrity Afterlife Report studio until next week, when I will return with more up-to-the-minute gossip about all your favorite deceased celebrities. Between now and then, please, 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 please tell your friends that the report is available for free on iTunes. I am the Celebrity Medium. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast. To ask a question about your favorite deceased celebrity, call 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-369-3732.